Thanks for joining us today. My name is Daryl Calloway. I'm the technical sales engineer with Stayntouch. I'm here today to go through a basic demo of our platform, the Rover PMS. We also are going to talk about the various aspects of the system, go through a basic journey of the guest through your hotel using the Rover platform in conjunction with our guest-facing Zest features, which incorporate Zest Web and also Zest Station. Using all of the features and functionalities of the system can really help you to transform the type of service that you're providing to your guests and give you opportunities for driving incremental revenue at your property. It all starts with an initial email that you can send to your guests up to a day before their arrival. With Zest Web, we have the ability to give you that opportunity to interact with your guests in a different way. As you can see on the screen here, the email is really designed to offer that option to the guest. It can be sent based on the timing that you configure. And the design of the email will be built to your specifications, so you can decide how you want it to look and feel. At the beginning of your implementation process, we'll capture information from you about your property, and we'll build a series of templates that will closely match the look and feel that you're going for your hotel. Typically, we'll build it to look like your hotel's website. Now, when the guest taps on Start Check-in, the system will open a browser and take them to the guest-facing portion of our PMS. So if you notice, there's no app or anything like that that they're downloading. It's actually a live URL on their device. Now, once they enter a few bits of information about the reservation, they'll be basically shown the details of that reservation right there on screen. So, the arrival and departure date, the room and the rate that they've booked, any terms and conditions that you have with the property. Those are free form. At the beginning of your implementation, you'll set those up, and the guest has to agree to those terms in order to proceed with the check-in. And so once the guest taps continue, if you are offering any upgrades or upsells at the property, those will be presented to that guest during the process. The idea here is that a picture speaks 1,000 words, and the guest being able to see a picture of that very nice room that you're looking to upgrade them to, and being able to make that selection in their hands on their device is really going to help to drive incremental revenue. Now, once the guest selects the room that they like, the system will then prompt them to enter details on their specific arrival. So specifically the time that they're expecting to arrive, as well as any comments, questions, or requests that they might have prior to arriving at the hotel. What this is doing is building, building intelligence that you can use at the property to create that more proactive level of service for your guests. If you know the time that the guest is expecting to arrive, as well as, any comments or things that they're expecting prior to them arriving at the hotel, it enables you to have all those resources ready to go and have staffing in place. And that way, when they come walking through the door, you don't look surprised. Now, just so you know, when the guest completes this process, the pre-check-in process, an email is going to be sent to whoever you choose to receive it, giving them this information. And, basically this allows them to really take action on that and really provide that proactive level of service. Now, if the guest has selected a time that's prior to your normal arrival, we can also incorporate an offer of an early check-in into this process as well. This is giving you an opportunity to remove that difficult conversation that can occur sometimes at the front desk when it comes to the early check-in, and also give you another opportunity for driving incremental revenue. Good to point out here that all of the aspects and offers within Zest are fully customizable, so you can control what offers are being shown by the guests or being shown to the guests, and when they're receiving those. You can focus these offers towards specific room types or rates, so you can really kind of drill down and offer the guests the things that they want and really be targeted in the strategies that you're looking to accomplish with Zest. Now, in addition to the room upsell and early check-in offer, we can also incorporate other things that you promote at your property to enhance that guest stay. As you see here, we have examples like bicycle rentals and massages, but really the sky's the limit. Any of those things you promote at your property can be incorporated as an offer, as an add-on into the system, and that can be added to the reservation and posted along with that reservation once it's checked in. So, it's giving you multiple opportunities for creating alternative revenue streams and, really offering and providing to your guests the things that they want when they're at your hotel. Now, once the guest completes the pre-check-in process, their reservation is moved from an arrival status into a pre-check-in or mobile check-in status. Those mobile check-ins are prioritized, so as rooms become available, the system will assign rooms, ready rooms to those mobile check-ins, and then it will check that room in and send the guest a follow-up email letting them know that the room is ready and how they can get their key. So it really is helping to transform service and eliminates the need for the amount of times that the guest has to come to the front desk. Now, in addition to the offer of check-in, we can also send an email to the guest on the day of their departure offering them to check out. Just like with the check-in option, the email is fully customizable. When the guest taps on view checkout options, they'll be prompted to enter their room number. And then once they do that, they'll be presented with up to 2 options, either to check out now or to check out later. If the guest does choose to check out later, then you can offer them up to 3 options at 3 price points, and the guest would select whichever time most closely matches the time they like to check out. But just keep in mind, you control the times, the price points, who's receiving those offers and when. You can exclude VIPs from receiving a monetized offer. So there are a lot of ways that you can shape Zest to match the goals that you have for the property. Just so you know as well, all of the upsells and upgrades that we talk about post as separate charges. So it makes it really easy for you to be able to track it and really build your strategy around the upsells and upgrades. Now, if the guest does choose to check out now, they'll be able to review the balance as well as the details of the bill right there on screen in the process. You can even give them the option to update things like the email address or credit card, and that way you're minimizing again the amount of contacts that the guest has to have with the front desk. Once everything is all squared away, the system will automatically send a copy of the final bill to the email address on file. So it really does bring that full service full circle basically. Now, fast forward to the day of the guest's arrival, we can also give you the option to offer, a self-service solution to your guests in your lobby. So, you can present this to them as an alternative means for interacting with you without having to speak to a physical agent. Zest Station, which is what we're seeing here, is designed to provide that self-service solution, but doing it in a way that's very affordable. Instead of having to buy a $10,000 kiosk style or ATM style machine and plop that in the middle of your lobby, this is designed to work on an iPad. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in how you can deploy this in your lobby. It makes it very affordable for you as well. It's also designed to be very easy to use and intuitive. As you can see, 3 simple buttons: check in, check out, and pick up a key. And these are modular, so these can be turned on or off based on what you want to offer to your guests. And then finally, keep in mind that the design of Zest Station, just like with Zest Web, the mobile portion, will be built to your specifications. So we'll basically build a series of templates that will match your specs. Now, to give you an idea of the flow, when the guest taps on check-in, they'll be prompted to enter their name, and then a little bit of extra information for verification purposes. And then once they do that, they'll be presented with the details of their reservation right there on screen, so they can verify all the specifics of their reservation. When they tap next, they'll be shown the terms and conditions. And again, these are free form. You set this up once, and then those will apply, for all aspects of the system. and the guest has to agree to those. Once they agree, then if you are offering early check-in at your property, then that will be presented or could be presented potentially in the offer as well. So it's another opportunity for you to drive incremental revenue and really provide the guests things that they want. Once they select the early check-in, if you're offering upgrades and upsells, those will be presented to the guests. The system will only show upgrades that are available for ready rooms on the station. So you're not going to get into trouble where it's offering things that aren't available. But the good thing here is that the guest is able to kind of scroll through the different upgrades, the different rooms that you have available, and really take a look and see the description and pick the rooms that they like. And they're being offered that in kind of a non-obtrusive, non-salesy way. Now, once the guest accepts the upgrade, they will be shown any other upsells and add-ons that you have available. There's really no limit to the amount of upsells that you can offer, but the idea is still kind of the same as the mobile portion, that the guests can select these at their leisure and basically add them to their reservation. It will post along with the reservation once it's checked in. And so once all the upsells and upgrades have been offered, the guest will be prompted to enter their credit card information. So they'll swipe right there on a device that's close to the iPad, and then they'll be prompted to sign directly on the tablet. That signature is saved forever with the reservation. So, it makes it really easy for you to find it later because it's going to be associated with the reservation, and also eliminates the need for a paper registration card. Once the guest taps next, they'll be prompted to encode their key. So you'll have a stack of keys sitting somewhere close to the iPad. The guest will take a key off of the stack, place it on a target that's close to the iPad as well, and then tap Make Key to encode that key. So at this point, the guest has their key, they have their room number, they'll have everything that they need, so they can potentially flow through your lobby without having much of any interaction with an agent at all. Now, just to kind of transition over to the staff-facing portion, this is what your staff is going to see on a regular basis when they're working in Rover. This is the dashboard. You'll notice right away the dashboard is built to be very easy to use, intuitive, and that sort of mindset and type of design is echoed throughout the system as we kind of navigate it. The dashboard is built to be a real-time snapshot of what's happening in the property. So as things change throughout the day, people check in and out, rooms are updated, reservations are made, the information here on the dashboard is going to update. You'll also notice when I shrink down the size of this window, the elements of the dashboard will adjust to that size. The system is built to be device responsive, so it doesn't matter what platform or device that you're working in. As long as you can access a URL, you can access our system. And incidentally, this is what the view looks like from a smartphone. So the system is built to be completely device responsive. Now you'll notice at the top of the screen here, there's a search bar. This is a super search. So as soon as I type in a couple letters into that field, it's going to pull all the records that match that string that I type in. If you notice, it searches across all the data points within the reservation and in the middle of the data point. So you're not going to get bogged down in doing searches or returning searches that have no records, because this will do an all-inclusive search of the entire database. But this is basically will be your one-stop shop for finding the reservations that you're looking for quickly. Now, the process of checking a guest in is very straightforward. Just a matter of either using that search bar like I just showed you, or you can just click on the green tile for arrivals and find the guest's name on the list from there. Now, when we open up the stay card itself, you're going to notice a couple things. The first thing is that the stay card is distilled down. It's only showing you the information on that main screen that you really need in order to interact with that guest during the check-in process. We've hidden away a lot of the other unnecessary fields, and we've done this by design because we want to help your staff to raise their heads above the computer screen and really interact and engage with your guests. Now the PMS becomes a complement to the check-in and not the focus of the check-in. So we're helping to eliminate that top of the head syndrome that a lot of guests experience when they walk into hotels. But if the agent does need access to the more detailed information for that particular guest, it's just a matter of sliding down that shade for the guest card, and from there they can access all the specific details for that guest. But like I said before, those items are being hidden away, so it's not distracting the agent from the check-in process. Speaking of information, you'll notice at the top of the screen, you have a couple of bits of information, the phone number, the email address. These are things that obviously you want to capture for every single guest, but you may not always get an opportunity to do that, or you obviously want to take advantage of those opportunities because they can be very few. So you want to make it as fast as possible for the agent to do that. To capture a phone number or an email address, it's just a matter of tapping into that field, updating the information, and then tapping somewhere else to save it. So there's no hoops to jump through to capture an email address or phone number. Now, the check-in process itself can be done in 3 clicks. Just a matter of clicking on that green check-in button. And when we do that, that's going to take you to the room assignment screen. But if you notice, the system is also taking advantage of that last interaction with the guest to offer any upgrades that you have available at the property. Again, further driving those opportunities to, promote incremental revenue and really give the guests what they want. Now, once the room is selected, the system will move to that final check-in screen. A couple things you'll notice here. The first thing is the signature bar right there in the middle of the screen. The guest is going to sign directly on the signature. You'll also notice at the bottom the terms and conditions. These are the same terms that we saw in the other aspects of the system. The guest has to agree to those terms in order to proceed with the check-in. And then finally, all those things you need to do during the check-in process, like updating the credit card information, posting, payments or charges, setting up bill splits or routing instructions. These things can all be done from this check-in screen without exiting out of the check-in itself. So this is going to help to maintain the speedy check-in. It's obviously very important to most hotels. Once everything is all said and done, you just click on that complete check-in button, and this will authorize the credit card. And it will send the key fulfillment option to the key machine if you have that connected. So, like you said before, this is really built to be very fast, very intuitive for the guests, for the staff, and also very fast for the guests as well. If you notice as well, this is designed to be, the system is designed to work on a tablet. It's built to work on an iPad. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in how you're interacting with your guests. So you could be standing anywhere in your hotel or not in your hotel and, go through all of those functions and those, check-ins and check-outs from any device, basically. Now, the checkout is very similar to the check-in in that, the guest would, or I should say the staff would walk up, they would tap on the red checkout button, and then select the guest, similar to the check-in. And then once they do that, instead of clicking on the green check-in button, they're going to click on the red checkout button to go to the billing and charges. Now you'll notice here the billing and charges is organized and again laid out in a way that's built to be presented on an iPad. At this point, you could be standing shoulder to shoulder with the guest, going through their charges, making any adjustments or splits or edits to any individual charges or groups of charges, setting up their billing after the fact or making payments, changing credit card details. Those things can all be done from the screen, and like I said, it's designed to be done while the guest is looking on. So it really does help to increase that engagement. Once everything is all squared away, you just click on that red checkout button at the bottom, and this will automatically send a copy of the final bill to the guest's email address. So again, eliminating the need to generate paper and also creating opportunities to interact and engage with your guests more closely. Now, if your back of the house staff is not involved and engaged in the process of, exchanging information between your guests and the staff and also, between other members of your staff, then it increases the chances that the ball could be dropped from a service standpoint. So we provided a very easy to use way and means for your staff to, interact with you without having to, rely on, physical workstations in your hotel. The housekeeping functionalities consist of 2 parts. The first part is the room status. So, from the room status, they have the ability to go in, They can make changes. Well, first of all, they have access to your entire room inventory from the room status. They can go in and update the status and conditions of rooms. They can set rooms out of order or out of service, and even establish work orders. So now, instead of having to write things down on pieces of paper and bring those pieces of paper down to the front desk or down to the housekeeping office to input it into the system, now these work orders and these things that pop up can be entered into the system in real time, and that way you're getting it blasted out to the people that really need access to that information to take care of it in a lot quicker fashion. So it's creating an operational efficiency that you can use to run your hotel a lot smoothly. You even have the ability to check out directly from the room status. So, in those situations where a guest has walked out of the hotel, left their keys sitting on the desk or nightstand, and walked past the front desk and haven't informed you that they've left, you may not find out today that guest has left the room until either you go up to inspect all of your due outs for that day, or until the end of the day when your housekeepers come down to update their assignments. So now, as your housekeeping supervisor or managers walking around updating rooms, they can also mark those rooms that they come across that are like that as checkout, and this creates another operational efficiency to where you're getting that room turned over in a lot quicker fashion, and as a result, getting the next guest in the room a lot quicker as well. And finally, the room status gives you the ability to, communicate between the different departments. All of the, the guest communication that's happening via the guest-facing options and Zest, like the check-ins and check-outs, that information is being blasted right down into Rover in real time. So your housekeepers and other back of the house staff are always going to know what's happening with your guests. They're going to see live updates of your, statuses of rooms in real time. Which enables them to, which gives them the information that they need in order to take action in a lot quicker fashion. Now, in addition to the room status, we also can provide you with a means of, establishing various tasks that are completed at the property on a regular basis. So things like your stay over or departure cleans, deep cleanings, even things like, turn down service or, minibar replenishment. Those things can be set up as regular tasks that are completed at the property. You would assign a time interval to those. And as those tasks come up, you'll be able to assign those tasks to your individual room attendants, either via drag and drop, or you can also auto assign, using, auto assign based on sections. So it really enables you to kind of streamline your processes in the hotel, from a, line level employee standpoint. They'll be able to potentially use a device to basically work their assignments. So they'll be able to access a system from that device, and basically be able to update the status and conditions of rooms, and take action on those things that they're seeing happening in the hotel on a regular basis. So as rooms are marked as ready or dirty, or if there's a guest that's waiting around for a room, they're going to see those things popping in on their device as they're going through those assignments. So just to show you what that looks like. So when the housekeeper logs in under their, to their system, they're going to have access to a limited dashboard. So, if you notice at the top here, it says housekeeping dashboard, and they also have access to limited features. The dashboard gives them the information that they need. So things like, how many rooms are occupied, how many guests are in the house, and what have you. When they go to room status under their login, they're only going to see the assignments that have been assigned to them. And this enables them to be able to go in and work those assignments directly from that device. So now they're not going to be, hindered by, pieces of paper. As we know, when the housekeeping assignments are doled out, they're typically printed out on a piece of paper. And as soon as those assignment sheets leave the office, they're out of date. So they're basically stale. So the rest of the housekeeping leader's day is basically spent running around, updating the statuses of different rooms, notifying housekeepers that they need rushes on rooms, that a guest is waiting around for a room. Room has been changed from departure, or I should say has been changed from a checkout to a stay over. All those updates have to be manually done by someone that's running around making those updates for your individual housekeepers. So by using the system to allow the housekeepers to access their assignments, they'll have access to dynamic updates as they're happening. So they'll see those rooms that have been set up as, or have been changed from a checkout to a stayover, or a room that's been moved to out of order or whatever it is. They'll see those changes happening on their device in real time and can take action on them in real time as well. So it really does create operational efficiencies across the board for your entire hotel. Now, just to kind of peel the curtain back a little bit, the process of making a reservation is pretty straightforward. When the guest goes into the reservations process, this will be the initial query screen that they see. You'll notice that it's not asking for a lot of information when it comes to the initial information that you need. So really the only thing that you need at the very start of a reservation to pull rates are the arrival and departure date for that guest. However, if you do have more detailed information for that guest, like their name or their company or group affiliation, those things can be added at the beginning to speed up the reservations process. In addition, you also have the ability to make multiple reservations for multiple room types at one time as well. So again, this helps to further speed up that process and that interaction with that guest. Now, when you click on Find Room and Rates, it's going to move to your rate results. The rate results can be organized either by rate code or by room type, depending on how you choose to view them. And you'll notice when I click on the double arrow next to the rate, it gives me details on that particular rate as far as the rooms that are available for that rate, and also the availability by room type for the stay that the guest is looking for. And so when I expand the view completely, it's going to give me basically a day-by-day breakdown of the rate, as well as details on both the rate code and the room type. So this is giving the staff everything they need in order to make that reservation for that guest. Now, you're probably wondering, what if I want to see availability for that particular day, if I want to take a look at, how things are looking, further out past the dates that the guest has requested. You can view your availability at any time in any process, by sliding out this graph icon to view that. So when we slide that out, it's going to give you access to, your occupied rooms. It'll give you, lets you view how many rooms are available, and also breaks it down by room type. So it gives you a lot of information regarding availability, kind of at your fingertips. You can scroll down and view the information that you need. Even information on things like groups and allotments can be viewed directly from the availability. So it kind of gives you an overall snapshot of what's going on in the property, and it gives you access to that, live and in real time. If you notice, when I slide the shade back for availability, it takes me right back to what I was working on. So you never have to exit out of what you're working on to view availability. It's always there at your fingertips. Now, just to continue with the reservations process, when I click on Book to select that room and that rate, it's going to move to the add-ons. Now, this is another opportunity for driving incremental revenue at the property. This gives you the ability to offer those add-ons and upsells to your guests through the reservations process and really promote those things that are meant to enhance that guest stay. Once the add-ons are selected, that will be automatically added to that reservation, and will post with that reservation along with the room charge and other recurring charges. But this gives you a lot of opportunities for driving those things, those enhancements, and those add-ons that you would promote at your property. So it really enables you to be very targeting what you're applying. Add-ons can also be applied to individual rate codes, which in effect allows you to set up packages, using your rates in the system very easily. Now, once you've selected your add-ons, you've selected your rate, the system will prompt you to enter details on that particular guest. If you notice, when I type in the last name, it's going to do a search for that last name in the system. So this helps to minimize the amount of duplicate records that could be occurring in the system. If you notice as well, when I go to select the guest, it's going to give me details on that particular guest as far as how many times they've stayed in the past, as well as specific details on their last stay. So it really helps you to kind of drill down and make sure that you're selecting the correct guest profile for that particular reservation. Now, once we selected the guest, it will move to that reservation summary. If you notice, the confirmation number has been added to this reservation. This reservation is almost complete. All we need to do is to select the payment method for the particular reservation. Now, if that guest has stayed with you in the past and they had credit card details that are still valid for for today, then the system will allow you to select that credit card to guarantee the reservation. Now, you'll notice it says ending with 1111. Whenever a credit card is entered into our system, it's immediately tokenized. All we save is the token in our system, so there's no issues with PCI compliance with the system because all we save are the last 4 digits and the expiration for that card. And so once the payment method has been selected, it will give you an opportunity to send the confirmation to the guest. The system will automatically, will by default send the confirmation to the email address, but you do have the opportunity to update that information before sending it. We do support multiple languages, just so you know. And we give you the ability to add custom text to the confirmation. So if there's something special that you talk to about that guest, you can add that, and they'll have confirmation of that in their email. And basically that's the end of the reservation. So as you can see, that's designed to be very fast. I mean, I know we talked through that and kind of went through that process, but you really could get through the reservations process in under 30 seconds. Now, this concludes our basic guest journey demo for your property. If you are interested in learning more about the Rover PMS system, please visit info@stayintouch.com. Or you can reply to the banner that you'll receive after this call, after the webinar is over. There will be details and contact information where you can email or call to schedule a more detailed, in-depth demo. Just wanted to make sure to see if anyone had any questions. I wanted to open that up. If there are any questions out there at all, please ask them now.